Good evening and welcome to the family room. I actually was just enjoying that music, great music by Stanley Uche. I was actually enjoying that. I forgot myself. I'm so sorry. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the family room on Radio Africana, the space where we talk about parenting, we talk about family life, and we talk about children. And of course, we talk about it with honesty, with warmth, and of course, an African art and a global voice. It's Valentine's season. Yeah, it's a season of love. It's a season of connection. It's a season of reflection. Like in my own family, I've been doing lots of reflection with my husband. But for many migrant families living in the UK, in US, in Canada, and across Europe, love looks very different. Yes, I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me. Love actually look very different from what we imagined when we were first, when a lot of us were moving into the different countries or the different continents where we found ourselves now. And tonight's topic is one that hits close to home, and we're going to be talking about love after relocation. How is your love? How is your love after relocating to where you are from wherever you have been before? How is your love? How is the opportunities? I know relocation brings opportunity, and of course, it also brings stress. Some people will say, you can say that again. Thanks to everyone that has also joined me on Instagram Live. It not only stress, sometimes relocation brings loneliness. Yes, you can even feel lonely while having your spouse or your partners around you. Long work hours, some people do like the 10 to 10. And of course, cultural shock, like, oh my God, this is how it is. I have to take my child to school. I have to pick up, I have to drop off, especially like, for instance, now in the UK, when the child is not 10-year-old, you have to just keep going. So sometimes I look at people who have children that are very, very young. Aside, opportunities also bring emotional distance, for example, and sometimes love, sometimes quite struggles. So where is your love? What is the status of your love like? I know a lot of people will can relate. Sometimes it does not even separate the husband and wife in the home. Sometimes a lot of people go through divorce, because of even relocation. If they don't, put their hearts together and communicate, because that is also one of the key factors, communication. So we're going to dive into it, but we're going to go starting today. I remember our very own Ron Kenoli, who just passed on to glory. It's someone that shaped my life. I know a lot of the Gen Zs don't know about Ron Kenoli. So I'm going to start the show up by playing his music, to just refresh our mind. That very song that blesses my heart, blesses a lot of family, a lot of children during my own time, So talking about love after relocation, staying connected in a fast-paced world. You are already in America, you are in Europe, you are in the UK, you are in Canada, and you're struggling. Many couples didn't prepare for how migration will test their relationship, and I believe a lot of people will know, must have heard stories about how migration actually tests a lot of people. Back home, we had community, family support. We've got things that can actually, you have small children, you want to go out on a date with your spouse, you can actually go out. But here, who are you going to leave your children with? You want to be alone. So you see a lot of people carrying children, people that have migrated carrying children, every up and down. So for someone like me that I've got older children, sometimes I like to pamper the younger parents. Parents that are upcoming, they've got younger children. I always tell them, I remember recently I told some friends that are quite younger than me, I told them, I said, see, one of these days just go to the cinema, go and watch behind the scenes. I've seen it with my husband. Just bring your daughter, because their daughter is actually used to me. So I said, bring your daughter to my house. Just go away, you guys. Go enjoy yourself. I like to do that for people. I tell them, bring your child, let them stay with me and go and enjoy yourself. Let them stay with my girls and go and enjoy yourself. Sometimes some people have 2 jobs. A lot of people that are here or in other continents can relate, that migrated to different continents can relate. Some people have 2 jobs. When the wife is coming back, the husband is also going. The wife has gone to do the night shift job, and the husband has done morning, done some school runs and all that. So that is about the shift works. Childcare pressure, I've just talked about childcare pressure. Some women, maybe you're not working because you have to take care of the children, and then you look at it that, oh, I'm meant to send money home, and you can't send money home and all that. It's a lot of pressure for migrants family, and of course no extended family. So but aside extended families, you have the bills to pay that don't wait for anyone. You've got the energy bill, you've got the council tax, you've got lot of bills. Some people even have medical bills, especially if you're not entitled to some benefits, and of course very little time to be with your partner. Some of us are lucky because maybe we're working from home and we still see our partners, or the partner comes back and we are home, we're not doing the night shift and all that. But what I would just want to tell a lot of people, wherever you are and you've migrated, your home is very, very important, and then there will be so much pressure if you don't create time for your spouse, if you don't create time for yourself, if you don't self-care, take care of yourself, take care of your husband. Try as much as possible to find time to go out together, find time to do life together. It's not just about the shift. You can reject some shifts. I know you have to pay the bills. You can actually reject some, especially if it's your second job or something. Your home is very, very important, and that's where everybody is actually missing it. Let me ask you, and I want you to be honest about this. When last did you talk to your partner without rushing? Sometimes I'm talking to my partner, I'm saying, oh, I need to go back now, maybe because I'm working from home. I need to go back now. I need to go back now. I need to go back now. I know it happened recently. I said, I need to go back now. You need to stop it right there, what you were telling me, because he was also working from home. You understand? And when last did you laugh together? When last actually did you laugh together? I mean real laughter. So that you talk about things. When last did you feel seen? When last did your spouse say, oh, I love your baby girl, or says, I love, we've been talking about children for some time now. It's Valentine's season, and that is why this week and next week is going to be dedicated to love, the parents. We're talking more about parents now, about each other now. So when is that time that you're going to dedicate? When do you want to feel loved, to feel seen? And it is very shocking that a lot of people don't even bother about this, but we really need to bother about this. We need to bother if we don't want to get to a point where you start asking yourself, where did I go wrong? Especially if the man start cheating, or you just lose your man, or the woman start cheating on you. But I want to believe that it is very, very important that we take time to reflect, we take time to talk to each other, we take time to communicate, we take time to self-care, we take time to not allow us to be drown in the fast-paced world, because it's 24 hours here. It's not when people go to sleep in the night and everybody works maybe 9 to 5, wherever you have come from, you work only 8 to 5, and that is everybody comes back home. If your case is not like that here, where you come back home, like in my own family, we come back together in the evening, everybody is back together. But if you're home, you have to go in the night, find time to stay together with your family. Well, we're going to go on a quick break now. Like I said, we are not playing the regular songs today. We are playing more of love song, and I want, if you are with your spouse, I want you to just love up on yourself and know that. So let's just even not forget about the children, but let's even pretend that the children are not there at the moment. So when we come back, we're going to take some stories, we're going to take some messages. If you want to share, you can call us on 0744-881-1570. If you're not in the UK, remember to add +44 before 0744 881-1570. So when we come back, we're going to go on the storytelling moment, and we're going to read some messages. The messages are already coming in, and we've had some before. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. Those were songs. The songs that you listen to. Thank you to everyone on TikTok loving that song right now. Just power tap for me if you love that song. Ajia, Miriam, I'm sure that song actually did a lot of jig to you. Yes, I'm celebrating couples. I'm celebrating. Even if you're a single parent, I'm celebrating you today. So I'm celebrating you because we appreciate all single parents that are loving up on their children, not giving up as well. So this is also your time as well. Know that you are loved. Know that your children love you. Knows that family room loves you. Like we always say, you are not in the room. Siska, thanks for joining me on Instagram. Richest02, thanks for joining me on Instagram. So this is the storytelling moment, and we're going to be reading some messages. I once spoke with a couple who said, we love each other, but we live like colleagues managing a project called life. And that actually hit me. A lot of people here, they've traveled. If you are in Europe, you are in Asia, you are in America, you've migrated from the Caribbean, from Africa to different continents, and you're living there with your family. So that story actually hit me. Migration can turn lovers into managers. You just have to manage rent, you have to manage your schedules, you have to manage school runs, you have to, it's like survival. But when are you going to take time to reflect? When are you going to take time to enjoy your spouse? When are you going to take time to enjoy yourself actually? But here's the truth. Love needs intention. You have to be intentional. If you want to plan to go watch a movie this weekend, you have to be intentional. You've got the money. Plan it with your spouse. Plan it if you're a single parent. Look for someone to stay with your children for like 1 or 2. Love up on yourself. Go out, enjoy yourself. Take yourself out as couples. Take yourself out. There's a program that I want to attend on Valentine's Day, and another person was telling me that we don't even actually have time to go out. But I've told my husband does not like to come for this kind of thing, but I've actually told my husband. That was what she told me. She said, I've told my husband, he has agreed, we've bought our ticket and we're going out. I want to say nice one for that. So for everyone listening to me, if you have migrated wherever you are, take time to love up on your spouse. Don't be drowned in the fast-paced world. That is what I'm talking about. Love needs intention, just intention to survive. You just have to be intentional. You have to be intentional that you're going to take your spouse out. You have to be intentional that after your 9 to 5, you take a moment to sit with someone like my husband now. He likes it that when I finish my 9 to 5, I don't just sit down and carry my laptop and I start doing my other things. He likes attention. He likes me to talk to him. I remember recently he was asking me that, just to remind ourselves again, the love language. And it got to a point, my husband said, you don't even have anyone, Jerry. I'm not just neither here nor there. So, but we just have to be intentional about the whole thing. And I'm going to read some messages today from UK. It says, since moving to the UK, my wife and I barely have time to talk. We love each other, but work and bills have taken over our lives. Ade, I would say you should not allow work and bills to take over your life. Like I just said, you need to plan it. If you're going to use 2 hours to go to the movies or 3 hours, you have the money. Get a minder to stay with the children if you've got some and you can't leave them at home. If they are not as old as mine to stay on their own, get a minder to stay with them or take them to the minder's house. Go out and love up on yourself. Michelle Canada says, migration changed our relationship. We are stronger financially, but emotionally we are drifting. And of course, Michelle, that's actually what will end up, causing divorce, because you are drifting apart. I miss how close we used to be. That's what's usually happen when you are in this part of the world. You tend to drift away when you don't nurture that love and being intentional is the most important thing. James from USA says, I work 2 jobs. I've mentioned about people that work in 2 jobs, and I'm always tired. My partner thinks I don't care anymore, but I'm just trying to survive. You need to watch it there, James, because you need to be, I would say, intentional. So everyone listening to me, you just have to be intentional. Even if you are still in Africa, even if you are still in the Caribbean, you are not you have not migrated. You just have to be intentional. You have to be intentional about it. Amaka from UK says, back home, family helped with kids. Here it's just us. I feel overwhelmed and sometimes resentful. A lot of women actually, if they have to now stay back, and especially if the man doesn't bother maybe to say, oh, buy this, take this one, take this gift and all that, and they just feel like I'm the only one working, I'm the only one paying the bills, and the man goes out when he wants to go out even after work, and the woman just feel like I'm the only one. So sometimes the women tends to feel resentful, even though she says, even though I love my husband, I would say, Amina, don't be resentful. Just try as much as possible to talk about it with your spouse. Find time to sit him down and talk about it, and sometimes share these responsibilities. I remember when my younger daughter, before she turned, now she's going to be 13 this year, my younger daughter, but before she turned 10, it was actually overwhelming for me because I was doing my master's on one hand, and I was actually running the whole of Oxford Road trying to meet up with the bus to get to our school, to pick her up from school, and I had to actually leave my job for about 6 months that time. I couldn't work the way I wanted to work. So to every woman, to every man out there, we just have to help one another. We don't need to feel resentful. We don't need to feel bad, but we need to talk about it. We need to ask ourselves, we need to reflect, we need to find time to go out. You don't need to go, if for instance, if you're in the UK and you live in Manchester, you don't need to go to Spain, you don't need to go to Canada for your holidays, you don't need to go to Tenerife, you don't need to go to Skegness. All you can just do, Blackpool is there, some other cities in the UK closer to you. You can take a break of Friday to Saturday and Sunday and come back, get some people to look after the children, trusted families, or you get even minders to help you for the 3 days or for the weekend or for the 2 nights. Just take your time. You don't need to have the whole money. Take your time, take time off. It actually helps. Recently I was on training, but in as much as I was on training for about 4 days, but the fact that I was away from home, I actually enjoyed myself for those days, and very soon we are going to go on holiday. Samuel from Germany says, Western culture encourages independence, but I feel like it has taken away our togetherness as a couple. Grace from USA. This is a serious issue. Grace from USA says, we hardly go on dates anymore. Love now feels like planning, schedules, and paying bills. So, like I said, don't be overwhelmed. Grace, you just need to plan it. It's the intention. You just have to plan. You have to plan ahead, because you see a lot of people, it's a different culture, but you see a lot of people that we met when we moved to the USA, we moved to the Canadians, we moved to Europe, or we moved to Asia. A lot of them actually plan ahead. If they want to go with their family, or a spouse want to go out alone, to elope to somewhere, they would have planned it like 6 months ahead or 3 months ahead, and they're already planning where the children are going to be and all that. You just need to plan ahead. If you say dates, dinner dates, you need to also plan ahead. Lunch dates, you need to plan ahead. If you don't plan ahead, there's nothing anybody can do about that. So it's just be the same thing. Wake up in the morning, go to your work, wake up, sleep, come back, go to the night shift, and then before you know it, it's Sunday. Before you know it is end of February. Before you know it, it is end of March, and then you are in 2027 and you're looking at it, and everybody will burn out. Everyone will burn out. I'll take one more message and then we go on a quick break, and then when we come back we go on our reflection, the steps to take. So I'll take the message from Danielle from Canada. Says, I show love by providing, but my wife says she needs more emotional connection. So, and that is just it. Emotional connection. It's not just about paying the bills. To everyone listening to me on Instagram and on TikTok, it's not about paying the bills. It's actually about that connection in your home. So promise me you're going to change from this Valentine season. You're going to change. You're going to plan your month. You're going to plan your evenings. You're going to plan your afternoons. Recently, before I go on the break, I asked my husband, I said, that you sent me messages every morning and now you stopped for a while now. Says, you go away, you that I'll send message to before you read it, even at the end of work. I say, I'm sorry, by the time I'm seeing it, I've started work and all that, and I can't reply to you and all that. Sometimes I reply. I said, I can take account of. So we just have to we are not perfect. We're not perfect human beings, but we can strive towards perfection. It's all about intention. It's all about planning. So let me just take one more message and then we'll go on that quick break. I feel lonely even. That's from Ngozi from UK. I feel lonely even though I'm married. Migration made me miss emotional closeness more than anything else. Ngozi, you just need to plan. You just need to say when you come back, you are going to go back to the bedroom. And that's what I do now, because sometimes when after work, I just want to watch YouTube. I just want to catch up on news and all those things. But these days, I'm trying to say, once my husband recedes into the bedroom, I try as much as possible to follow now, because I'm the one that will sleep late. He doesn't sleep in late. So we just have to plan. We have to balance it up. We have to be intentional. We have to, as you're scheduling your shift, also, plan yourself, put that schedule to when you are going to love up on yourself, when you're going to take time to appreciate one another, to connect to one another. We're going to go on that break right now, and then when we come back, we'll look at practical reconnection steps. Please enjoy my music tonight, because it's taking me back to those days. I remember last night I was singing the same very song, and my husband came into the sitting room and he was just wondering, and sometimes he liked to bully me. He said, why are you singing with that choir, with a chorus like the choir voice? I think that was what he said, because that song actually, those were songs, not songs of, I don't want to mention some things because it's not that time of the day, not the songs of, nudes, not the songs of, not vulgar things and all that. Those were actual songs. I mean, a lot of people that also joined me on Instagram actually and on TikTok can relate to those songs. Now, let's go to the practical reconnection steps. Let's get practical here. what I would just like to say, there are small but powerful ways migrant couple can reconnect. There are small ways we can reconnect. Schedule love life, love like you also schedule your work. Maybe a 20 minutes, like that last song says, can we talk for a minute? So even if it's just 20 minutes of your time, weekly, check in. It's better than waiting for free time, because that free time will never come. Number 2, lower expectations, increase presence. You have to increase presence. Love in migration may not be fancy, but it may be sincere. So just lower the expectation and increase the presence. Another thing is to create micro moments. Just create, like that song said, just talk for a minute, that micro minute. A voice note. I think I'm going to start doing that. A voice note, a text. I've been receiving text messages. A hug. I remember going, I had to do a little hug, then I went back again. I said no, it should be just a little, so on the head, which I did before going out this morning to the retreats that I went for. It could be eye contact, to your spouse. Do that. Those are micro moments that you need to create, understand. Number 4, stop comparing your relationship. Don't say, oh, someone is better than you. Somebody knows how to spice it up. Somebody knows how to do this for the spouse. No. Take that moment and be yourself. Stop comparing your relationship. Social media actually show highlights, but not the reality. Sometimes you see a lot of things. I'm sure you've seen a lot of couples on social media, and then later you start seeing, like, there's a see finish later, and then you start seeing a lot of things. I'm just wondering, is that the same couple that used to love up on each other on social media? So just try as much as possible to do that. So I'm going to read more messages. If you want to send WhatsApp messages or you want to send SMS, remember the number is 0744-881-1570. And if you're not in the UK, remember to add +44 before 0744-881-1570. If you're not following me on Instagram and on Facebook, the name is Fekemi Adeyemi Bangbushi, and on TikTok, also FK Mighty on TikTok, and on my YouTube it's still Fekemi Bangbushi TV. Ngozi from UK, she says, I feel lonely. I think I read this before. So I've got Peter from Netherlands. Peter says, sincere. Since relocating, stress has changed how we communicate. Small issues turn into big arguments. That one is also another thing. You just have to try as much as possible, and that is when you burn out or your spouse is burn out. That's what usually happens. So you need just to take a breather. You need to take a walk. Even as much as both of you can even do after work. If you both work from home, and then you finish, you can take a walk together in your neighborhood and you come back. Or if the other person comes back, you can actually still take a walk. You understand? On Saturday morning, you can go jogging, you can take a walk, you can go to the park, you can sit there for some minutes, and come back into your house, and you feel refreshed. You don't need to go to, like I said, Tenerife or Skegness before you enjoy each other. Like Layota, I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that well. Layota from USA says, raising kids abroad has shifted our focus away from our marriage. Everything is about the children now. That is the same thing. That is why today I'm not talking about children, I'm not talking about parenting, and even next episode I'm talking about love. I'm talking about how we can spice it up, how we can reconnect, despite the fact that we are we have migrated. Blessing from Canada. My husband and I love each other, but we are exhausted all the time. Romance feels like a luxury. So I'm going to stop it there, and then we'll go on a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to wrap it all up, and then I'm going to ask us to send more messages in for our next episode, because we're going to be reading it, because that day is actually the Valentine's Day. So we're going to send messages to our loved ones, and then we're going to read it out for that time. So we'll go on a quick break right now. We'll be right back after this time. Don't go away. That last song was actually by Tubaba. That's the African Queen song. Evergreen, evergreen, evergreen. When was the last time you tell your wife, you are my African queen? When was the last time you tell your wife, or your partner, you are my African queen? So we need to always do that. We need to always remind ourselves. We all need to always love up on each other. You need to always remember to tell him how handsome he is, how beautiful she is. Even if she's now bigger because she's got children, you need to still love up on your spouse. I'm going to be reading more messages. Ibrahim from France says, I didn't realize how much culture affects love. The fast-paced lifestyle here makes relationships feel rushed. Yeah, it actually does. I think I've shared my own practical experience also. It actually does, but like I said, we have to be intentional. And just like we schedule our work, like our shift, we also have to do that as well. Blessing from Canada says, my husband and I love each other, but we are exhausted all time. Romance feels like a luxury. It does not have to be like that, Blessing. You just have to plan it. You have to plan it, because I'm beginning to think from your angle when you say romance feels like luxury. When you look at it, if I'm going to spend £30 and I've got to pay spend $30 if we go out, and I'm going to pay energy bill of $100 or £100, and then you're looking at it £30 and you're caught in between, like, do I do this? But really, if you plan it and say that by April I'm going to take my wife out to the best restaurant wherever I'm living in my locality, you can actually do it. It's just for you to plan. Even if you have to save the money in one of your bank accounts, I know some of us, we've got like 3 bank accounts, just save the money there in 2 installments and all that, and then you will be able to take your spouse out. You just have to plan it. You have to be intentional. Honestly, that is just the way to go about it. Michael from UK says, we used to laugh a lot. Now conversations are about money, about school runs, about work stress. Now, what you need to do, Michael, is to tweak the conversation. Just forget about, when you come together, don't talk about bills, don't talk about money, just talk about yourselves. Like I said recently, we've been talking about ourselves in my own more. Like I mentioned that my husband said, let's reflect on our love language. So just try and do that, Fatima. And I'll just check one more message. Today from US says migration tested our marriage in ways we never expected. We are learning to be intentional again. And that is exactly what I've been saying today. You just have to be intentional. Everyone listening to me on Radio Africana and watching me live on TikTok, you just have to be intentional. That is the most important thing. If you're not intentional about it, you will not go anywhere. So ask yourself tonight, if you're watching me or you're listening to me, what small acts of love can I give consistently? I've asked myself, when my husband asked us to reflect last night and some days ago. So when he was asking about some questions from me, I've said, this is something that I know he loves. So I'm going to continue to do that. and I want to be intentional about it. And that was why I said when I was leaving home, it was not at home. I was going to a retreat before coming to the radio station. So I just said, let me just do this thing before I leave, and I did it. I don't want to mention it again, but I did that before leaving the house. So it's just being intentional, because love isn't one size fits all. In our next Valentine's special, we'll be talking about love languages and how to love better in 2026. Some people will say, but it's February. Yes, it's just starting. How we're going to love better in 2026. We're going to be talking about that. So send your messages. Let your love be heard, And when we come back again next week, we are going to be talking about so much love. And I'm going to come back with so much, lovely music that will wow you. So from me and from everyone in Radio Africana, I want to say enjoy your evening. Enjoy your weekend. Be intentional. Share love with your spouse. If your spouse has gone to work, say it in your voice notes to your spouse. And remember that I'm going to go live this night, and we're going to rub minds so that I can bring a lot of people on board, and we're going to talk about it. It's a season of love. We're not talking small love, we're talking big love. Thank you for power tapping. Thank you for the love, for showing me that love. Thank you so much to my TikTok fans. I'll see you in another hour. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy your weekend and look forward, plan ahead for Valentine. I want to say enjoy your evening and enjoy your weekend and have a lovely week ahead. From me and everyone, it's bye for now. Bye.